If you really want to know about the remnant, you need to use a concordance to look up the Hebrew words that refer to the remnant. So we will examine 3 Hebrew words that refer to the remnant, and then using a concordance, I'll show you how to do a word study. So our words are sha'ar, yatar, and pletah. So from the 3 words, you will conduct a word study, which I'll show you, and then you have to determine what is the pattern. So the first word is sha'ar, and it's in the story of Noah. Noah is identified as the first remnant. Only Noah was left. It means to be left to remain, to be left to remain. And it's interesting, those who were with him in the ark, Noah was the righteous one. Yatar is to be left over. And Jacob was left alone, and a man, angel in Hosea, wrestled with him until daybreak. He said, "Your name shall no longer be Jacob, Yaakov, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with men and have prevailed." So this is teaching us what it will take to be part of the remnant when Yeshua returns and God chooses the remnant. The last one is pletah. For a brief moment, God has been shown from the Lord our God to leave us an escaped remnant. So pletah means escape. Now what we do is I show you about a word study. You start with a Hebrew word from the Old Testament or a Greek word from the New Testament, not the English translation. I highly recommend the online source BibleHub.com. It's an online concordance, and it will give you the verses where the Hebrew or Greek word appears in Scripture. The first appearance of the word will be significant, so you want to take note of that. Then make a list of verses where the word appears. Read each verse in its context and take very brief notes. Determine the pattern in which the word is used from the first to the last appearance. Here we are at BibleHub.com, and I've taken the first word, sha'ar. You type in Genesis 7:23, and that will take you to a page, and then you click on interlinear. Interlinear gives the Hebrew on one line and the English on the other line. And here's our word down here. This is what it looks like. You have the pronunciation, vayishaer, and you have the Hebrew, var-yishaer. This is the English translation in the King James Version, and remained. Here we have a conjunction with a vav. The verb is nif'al imperfect. It's the third person masculine singular. You don't have to know all that stuff. I'm just telling you that's what it is for those of you who know the Hebrew. But that's not important. What's really important is up here on the top. You click on that number, and it takes you to Strong's Concordance. So we'll go to Strong's Concordance. Now, over on the left, I tell people, do not use Strong's Concordance. It's English with English definitions. What you do is you go over here to Englishman's Concordance, and there are verses where the Hebrew word appears. It turns out there are 133 occurrences. Well, that's too many. So you could do a word study on maybe 25 or 30, and that will be enough to give you a sense of meaning. What have we got? We've got a pattern. The first appearance is significant. Only Noah was left together with those in the ark. That's the first. Notes are just really short. Noah, a remnant, rescued from the flood. That's short. And so what is the pattern? Well, God will select a remnant like Noah that he perceives as righteous. Righteous does not mean perfect without sin, but a true desire to grow closer to God by pleasing him in a daily walk with Yeshua. A key element in God's selection will be the humble ones. When Yeshua returns, it will be a time of great distress. Now, the flood was the distress at the time of Noah. For us, it's going to be what's called the Great Tribulation. But Yeshua will have with him a righteous remnant that will escape, that's one of our words, escape the following destruction. With that, I wish you Shalom.